In the dead silence before chaos, a low, mournful siren pierces the still air, a signal of the unthinkable. The screen flashes crimson as warning lights flood the tarmac in urgent pulses. There, under a sky heavy with war-torn clouds, a steel leviathan stands still, the KC-135 Stratotanker, not a weapon of destruction, but a lifeline of survival. This is not a fighter jet. It doesn't fire missiles. It doesn't drop bombs. But in the next breath, it will become the centerpiece of an unfolding storm. The text slams onto the screen like a classified file torn open. You're not watching fiction. This is reality, raw, unfiltered, and terrifyingly real. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. The Stratotanker groans to life, engines igniting with a deep, violent rumble. Like a sleeping beast jolted awake by danger, it's no longer passive, it's primed. What you're witnessing is not routine. It's a transformation, an emergency metamorphosis from support to survival, from backup to battlefield. This aircraft was built to refuel, not to fight. But when war doesn't wait, and allies are running dry in the sky, the mission changes. Everything changes. This is what happens when duty collides with threat. When fuel becomes lifeblood, when time runs out, hold your breath, because in the next 15 minutes, you're not just watching a takeoff. You're watching a decision to defy death and soar straight into the unknown. From the heavens above, the sun scorches the desert floor, casting long shadows over the blistering terrain below. The camera sweeps across the volatile skies of the Middle East, where silence is always fleeting. Radar pings echo like war drums, sharp, relentless, foreboding. Overlaid alerts blink crimson red, flashing like the heartbeat of an impending storm. Just minutes ago, the air was still. A typical sortie. The seasoned KC-135 Stratotanker crew moved with calculated precision, calm hands, steady eyes, minds tuned to mission rhythm. They were guardians of the air, supporting fighter squadrons circling the zone. Another day, another refuel. Then, the spike. Everything changed in a breath. Unfamiliar blips pierced the screen, accelerating, erratic, threatening. This wasn't routine anymore. It was hostile. The tranquility shattered like glass under fire. Inside the cockpit, chaos sparked with urgency. Boots pounded on metal. Headsets snapped on. Eyes locked on instruments now screaming with kinetic noise. The regional command didn't mince words. Missile threat detected. Possibly Houthi. High speed. High alert. The crew didn't flinch, but the weight of those words hit like a punch to the chest. From routine to red alert, the transformation was instantaneous. This wasn't a drill. This was a race against a deadly unseen enemy, where every second counted, and the sky could turn lethal in a blink. And no one, not even the most hardened crew, could have predicted what would come next. The ground is a blur of chaos, boots pounding, shadows racing, adrenaline boiling. Ground crews sprint like their lives depend on it, because they just might. Pilots, faces grim with focus, slam down visors, strap in, and brace for what could be a one-way mission. Inside the KC-135 Stratotanker, it's all hands on deck, fingers dancing across illuminated control panels, switches thrown with brutal precision. The calm is gone. This is war tempo now. In under 2 minutes, the call came. Not to retreat, not to hide, but to charge headfirst into potential destruction. The order was clear. The Stratotanker must fly directly into the threat zone. Why? Because somewhere above, fighter jets were bleeding fuel. Their mission, critical. Their lives, ticking away. And this tanker? Their last chance. Their only hope. Jet bridge disengages with a mechanical scream. The massive aircraft begins to tremble as its engines awaken, not slowly, not cautiously, but in a violent roar of defiance. This is not a takeoff. This is a launch. A steel titan, wings wider than city streets, ripping across the tarmac like a low-flying rocket. The ground shakes. Dust and debris explode into a maelstrom around the wheels. This is what commitment looks like. This is what sacrifice sounds like. You're witnessing a support aircraft becoming a frontline warrior, catapulting into the sky on sheer willpower and jet fuel, defying its role, its weight, and its odds. Zoom in. The eyes tell it all. Behind the visors, beneath the helmets, battle-hardened focus grips the Stratotanker pilots like a vice. Sweat drips down temples, jaws clench, knuckles whiten on the yoke. This isn't a calm ascent. It's a desperate escape straight into the lion's mouth. Every heartbeat echoes like a war drum. This isn't some leisurely climb through clear skies. No, this is a vertical break from the grip of the Earth, with hostile radar painting the sky and missile systems possibly locked in. And behind the calm surface of these flight suits, thousands of gallons of volatile jet fuel, enough to turn this flying behemoth into a fireball with just one well-placed strike. One slip, one stutter, and this mission ends in an explosion. Then, liftoff. From a high-angle vantage, the KC-135 Stratotanker surges forward like a beast unleashed. The runway disappears beneath it. Its weight, over 300,000 pounds, defies logic as it rips into the air with afterburners glowing like twin suns. It's not built for show. It's built for sacrifice. A guardian of the skies, filled with fuel, not firepower, rising into uncertainty with one goal: keep America's warfighters alive and in the fight. Because somewhere above, fighter jets are waiting, low on fuel, high on risk. And if the tanker doesn't reach them in time, the mission collapses. So this takeoff isn't just a maneuver, it's a declaration. A vow made in steel and jet thrust. No jet gets left behind. The screen lights up with menace, lines arcing from Yemen like deadly fingers stretching across the map. Each line, a possible missile, a possible death sentence. And in the middle of it all, high above hostile ground, the KC-135 Stratotanker slices through the air, no longer alone. It's flanked now, guarded by twin F-15 Eagles, their silhouettes razor-sharp against the sky, their purpose singular: protect the tanker at all costs. Why send a flying fuel depot into a war zone? Because this mission, this lifeline, isn't just about logistics. It's about survival. Every fighter jet in the region depends on this airborne guardian. If it fails, if it falls, entire operations collapse. Fighters run dry, missions abort. Pilots are stranded mid-sky, left with nothing but empty tanks and fading hope. Then, the stakes sharpen. Black and white infrared footage crackles on military monitors. ghostly images of a suspected Houthi launcher, movements captured in grainy contrast. Heat signatures flicker, a sinister ballet of assembly, missiles being readied. Inside the Stratotanker, every crew member knows what that means. The game has changed. This aircraft was built to support from behind, but today it's on the front line. A vessel of vulnerability turned vanguard. It carries no weapons, but it carries the fate of dozens of jets, and the weight of that truth is heavier than armor. This is no longer a refueling mission. This is a fight for dominance in the sky, and the Stratotanker is now a key combatant. At 30,000 feet, the sky should offer serenity, but today, it's a crucible. Against a backdrop of endless blue and looming threat, a ballet of steel unfolds. The F-22 Raptor, a predator of the skies, closes in like a ghost, inching toward the KC-135's refueling boom. This isn't science fiction. This is mid-air refueling during a potential missile threat. It's one of aviation's most precarious maneuvers, even in peacetime. Now, it's war zone precision. Every second counts. Every gust of wind could mean disaster. Every wrong move could rip both aircraft apart. The boom sways, caught between turbulence and urgency. The operator's hands, gripping the controls with white-knuckled resolve, must perform a miracle. Guide a rigid fuel pipe into a jet traveling at 500 miles per hour, all while listening to alert tones scream in the background like wailing banshees. The enemy is out there, somewhere, watching, maybe even targeting. But there's no time to wait, no room for doubt. Fuel must flow, missions must continue. And the Stratotanker, it doesn't hesitate. It holds steady in the face of chaos, transforming from a target into a lifeline. Its crew knows what's at stake, not just fuel, but freedom of movement, of dominance, of survival. This, right here, is what courage looks like in the sky. Calm hands under fire, machines locked in fragile embrace, and the unwavering resolve to complete the mission, even as the clock ticks toward catastrophe. The sun sinks beneath the horizon, casting long golden shadows across the tarmac. The Stratotanker, scarred by tension, triumphant in silence, touches down with a thunderous whisper. Wheels screech, flaps extend. The mission is over, but the weight of what just happened still clings to the air. Inside, the crew exhales for the first time in hours. Muscles ache, eyes are bloodshot, voices hoarse from commands shouted in the chaos. But they made it. Every drop of fuel delivered, every fighter jet brought home. They stepped down from the aircraft. No fanfare, no cameras, no parade. Just tired hands meeting in silent salutes. A nod here, a pat on the back there. It's not celebration, it's respect. Because every one of them knows they flew inches from disaster and didn't blink. The camera lingers on their flight suits. No names, no medals, no glamour. Just patches, grease, sweat, and purpose. These are the quiet giants of the sky. The ones who don't chase glory. They chase completion, execution, precision under pressure. While the world sleeps, they launch. While others retreat, they fuel the fight forward. There will be no headlines about them tomorrow, no viral footage. But if that mission had failed, the consequences would have echoed far louder than this quiet victory. And that's the essence of their legacy. Unseen, unsung, and absolutely essential.
South to the right. Contact interphone. No contact up front. There goes.
Today, something extraordinary unfolded above a war-torn horizon. The KC-135 Stratotanker, a machine designed to support, rose beyond its role. It didn't just transfer fuel. It delivered lifelines. It braved warnings. It flew into the storm with nothing but courage in its tanks and duty in its heart. Under fire, under pressure, under threat. And still, it performed. This wasn't just another sortie. This was a symbol of resolve forged in jet engines, of teamwork stitched into every flight suit, of silent sacrifice beneath roaring skies. In those tense hours, the Stratotanker didn't just support a mission. It became the mission. The night closes in. The booms retract. Hands salute against starlight. The job is done. What you witnessed wasn't a headline. It was a legacy in motion. Not just caught on camera, but etched into the soul of air power itself. Because this is what makes the U.S. Air Force unstoppable. Not just the firepower, not just the flight tech, but the human spirit inside machines of war, daring to push forward when everything screams to turn back. One tanker, one mission, one unforgettable stand in the sky. Would you? Would you trust your life in a flying fuel tank, no weapons on board, soaring 30,000 feet above hostile ground, knowing one strike could turn steel to fire in seconds? Because that's what these crews do, every single day. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you do in their boots? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay locked in for more real missions, real heroes, and the untold stories of those who live in the sky and fight to keep it free.